on, girl, let's scream.
I am a god.
No, please don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel. This is the part where you run.
Come on, scream.
Hello, and welcome to Let's Scream, a podcast where we usually dive into our favorite horror movies, but it's no Scream November. I'm Stevie.
And I'm Parker.
And today we are looking at 2004's Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, directed by Sarah Sugarman.
Join us as we journey to Delwood and learn all about SidArthur. Are you ready to not scream, girl?
Come on, girl, let's
not scream.
Oh,
welcome to No Scream November.
I'm so excited. We came up with this idea
a while ago.
Months ago. I think you came up with it and pitched it and we're like, we should do. And I was like, I love that.
Which, like, now I kind of regret because all I want to do is talk about the fucking substance.
We can talk about that in December.
Yeah, we will.
Only one thing planned for December.
So as soon as No Scream November is over, we will be talking about the substance because I am obsessed with it. But yeah, come on now. Let's not scream. I'm ready. And we're doing Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen this year, starring Lindsay Lohan.
As Lola Step. Step, spelled C-E-P.
Yeah.
So if any of our viewers know why that is, please let
It's
us
an anomaly.
know.
I was
Because
reading the
I'm so
captions
confused.
and I was like, why are they all mispronouncing her name? But yeah, I guess it is. But this is the movie that you picked. So you picked the first 2 weeks.
Yes.
And I picked the second 2 weeks.
Yes.
So.
And this movie I picked, both of our movies I picked because they're movies that we've watched together and I've fallen in love with because we watched them together. Now, I've loved this movie forever. But then we watched it together one time at your parents' house. We were just hanging out. And we were just rolling the whole time we were watching this movie.
I know, because I hadn't seen it in a long time.
And then we just recently watched it again this year already before this. And we were laughing because Lindsay Lohan makes the face of the girl who's going to be okay.
Yes!
From that meme. If anyone knows that meme.
It's Caitlin Riley is the girl who made that TikTok. Okay. She's really funny, but she has the one where it's like the practical magic music, like whimsical music, and she's drinking like a matcha, and she just gives this big like smile to herself. And Lindsay Lohan does that better than anyone.
And she does it so many times in this movie. So many scenes end with her doing this face.
And then I went back to her filmography, and a lot of her movies are just her doing the girl who's gonna be okay
face. And I love Lindsay Lohan.
I love Lindsay Lohan too. I'm so excited for her making a comeback.
Yes.
I will be watching Freaky Friday 2, bitch.
Yes, because I love Freaky Friday. That's my favorite movie.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't do that one.
Because I wanted to do this movie because of our connection.
Okay.
Because of our friendship around it. And also, this movie is just so fun. And this movie taught me that Rotten Tomatoes is corrupt and bought out. This movie only has a 14% when it should have no less than 100.
That is criminal. That is criminal.
It's so good. Y'all, get ready. Because also, this is the first podcast of all 40 whatever we've done.
This is episode 46.
46. This is the first time I've written the outline.
Oh my god, I know.
So
I'm a little frightened, but I'm really excited.
No, it's gonna be so good. It's so good. I watched the movie.
Took notes, bitch.
I watched the movie twice. So I just watched it again today. Because I watched it once taking notes and once again just because it's such a good movie and I could rewatch it.
This was one
every
of my
day.
favorites growing up.
It's so good.
I watched it with my cousin Schaefer a lot.
This is one of those movies also that would always be on Disney Channel or ABC Family.
Mm-hmm.
And I always remember the commercials. Every time I watch some of these movies, I'm like, oh, that was the bit that was used in the commercial to advertise this.
Oh,
playing.
yeah. I love the music in this movie.
Oh, the soundtrack. That's literally my first note.
Yeah.
Is that the soundtrack slaps.
Yeah.
It's such a good soundtrack. The costume design is
yeah.
amazing.
Like,
it's so
that's
fun.
something that I never really noticed about it until this rewatch was there's so many actual couture pieces in this movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, not only just the couture, but all of the thrifted clothes and just everything.
It's just very
about
high
it.
fashion and it's very Oh, I mean, we'll get into it because, like, of Lola's character.
Yeah.
And I do want to give a shout out to David C. Robinson for the costume design because chef's kiss.
So I love that. It's got a lot of good things going for it. I mean, but it's like a very 2000s Disney Channel movie.
But also, you know what?
So it's tropey.
They don't make movies like this anymore.
I know, I miss this kind of
This movie goes by so quick. It is fun the whole time.
Yeah.
I do have like critique. I think the relationship is so shoehorned into this movie. To me,
I know. Who
and,
gives a fuck about Sam?
yeah, he's always so forgettable to
He
me.
has like
I will
he
say,
has, like, no
watching
screen
this,
time.
I realize there's more scenes with him, but I'm still just kind of like, oh, he just kind of like tells her she's cute and then like does whatever she wants.
Yeah, he's her bitch.
Which I kind of love. So you know what? Wait, maybe he's great. No, everything I just said,
he's the best
stretch.
one.
He's
Yeah.
the best one.
But yeah, this movie works because Lindsay Lohan is the lead actress.
They wanted Hilary Duff originally, and it would not have worked.
And I
This
love
char-
Hillary.
I love Hillary, but the
she's-
character would not have
She's
worked.
for a different kind of character. It would be a lot of, I'm Lola
so I exaggerated a bit.
I don't know what to do.
I'm your new Eliza.
La 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 la.
So move on. Hey. Parker and I were playing, was it Dead by Daylight? And I kept doing the la 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 la.
Ooh yeah. Whoa yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, she's really good.
It's like it's literally three different voices. None of
Oh,
them,
yeah.
only one of them is hers.
They'll do that in these Disney Channel movies.
It's so funny, but not Lindsay. I also rewatching this. Lindsay has a great voice.
Oh yeah.
She has a good voice.
I mean, her song, what's it
Rumors.
called? Rumors, bitch. Rumors, like, got me the fuck together when I was a kid. I loved that song.
Yeah.
I still love it. Okay, girl. Well, are you ready to not scream?
I'm ready to not scream.
Come on, girl. Let's not scream.
Are you ready to confess, girl?
I'm ready to confess, bitch.
All right. Well, if y'all have not seen Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen and you don't want to have this
Spoiler.
amazing film spoiled, then I recommend going on Disney Plus and watching this movie. Or if you don't want to, like, fuck Disney,
True.
you know, I'm sure you can rent it from somewhere or download it illegally. I do not condone doing that, but
That's an option.
it's an option.
Or you can probably find the DVD somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure. Go to your local Goodwill. Anyways, we will now be getting into spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
So, we open up on New York City, and the soundtrack immediately slaps.
Okay.
It's so good.
This soundtrack, I have to say, is so funny because I'm pretty sure it's like some independent artist that they contracted to make all these like royalty-free pop songs for this. And they all match so perfect with what's going on in the
Yes!
movie. And it fucking
They literally
kills
told him the
me.
scene. They're like, this is the scene it's going to be for, so make a song for it. Like, don't think about it
Like
too hard.
when Lindsay Lohan is like taking a shower, it's like, I'm getting ready for my day.
Day.
Or when she's like working out, it's like, I gotta work really hard today. Like, they all fit so
When she's like
perfectly.
depressed, nobody's perfect.
Yeah. And I also love the font going on. For these opening
It's telling
credits.
you it's a fun movie.
It's
And the
fun.
font's doing fun things. There's one like it goes to Central Park and the font like jumps into the water.
Yeah.
What movies don't do this anymore?
No.
I'm sure they do, but
But not like this, and not with pink font, bitch.
it's fun. So then we get an ode to Breakfast at Tiffany's, and we see the main character played by Lindsay Lohan. She's saying goodbye to her mother and her two twin sisters.
We never learn their names.
We never learn their names. I did look it up, and I think it's Pauline and Penny or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Who cares? We never learn their
Yeah,
names.
they're
you know?
not named. Which I thought was
But
funny.
they're saying goodbye. Like Lindsay Lohan's going to be staying behind in New York.
She's got a British accent.
She got a fake British accent, and something that I thought was really cute. The awning to one of the places looks like a Tiffany box. An ode to Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Lindsay's in a very Breakfast at Tiffany's look, and this scene is
like Audrey
an
Hepburn.
ode to an actual scene from Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Mm-hmm.
And her mom is like, goodbye, like, good luck, have fun. And so oh my God, she's staying in New York. She's excited. And she does the most amazing backflip.
She does a backflip, man.
She does, like, runs up a light pole and does
She's
a backflip.
like, oh my God.
I'm
yay for
free.
me,
I
I'm
can do whatever I want.
free.
And then plot twist. It's actually a book that Miss Lindsay Lohan is playing with.
Yeah,
and
it's like a fantasy.
like a pop-up book. Turns out she is moving. Her mom is moving her out of New York City.
She's a city
and
girl.
to where? New
Jersey.
Jersey. I'd be mad too.
I'd be pissed the fuck off.
And
She's like, goodbye, Hollywood. Oh, and like,
goodbye, my dreams. Goodbye, Broadway.
talks like this.
She's so dramatic. And her mom says, don't be such a drama queen, Mary. And she goes, my name's Lola. I've known that since I was 5.
Do
that
not dead name.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Her mom keeps dead naming her. Her mom's like,
naming her.
well, that's your name on your birth certificate, so that's what I'm going to call you. Bitch, we're not going to dead name here.
I agree. I think it's
Her mom is stoned out the whole time. And her
Yeah.
mom is a
hippie.
a pottery, does like ceramics. She does pottery and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's her thing so for some reason New York is not working out and she's moving to
The suburbs.
the suburbs of New Jersey. And they're going to Delwood, which in the scene leading up, Lola refers to it as Deadwood, and her little sister goes, can she say that?
Oh my God.
And there's an iconic line we get from Lola where she says, in my family, I'm a flamingo in a flock of pigeons, which I remember is used in the promo for this all the fucking time.
Yeah, the trailer.
That's like kind of, she's the one she's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And she stands out.
Her outfits are so cute. Like, she always dresses for the occasion. She's very eccentric.
This first look is so iconic. She's wearing an I Heart New York like baseball tee, but it's like a baby tee, like the sleeves are cut off. And then she's wearing a mesh shirt over it, and she cut out the mesh where the heart is for the I Heart New York. And it's such a cute look. It's an iconic look. And we then learn about Mr. Stu Wolf because in her new bedroom, Lola is hanging up the world's biggest fucking poster.
I know.
Ever seen.
Where did she get it? It covers
And
her.
where did she
entire
it covers an entire fucking wall.
Yeah.
And it's Stu Wolf, and he is the lead singer of a band named SidArthur.
SidArthur.
And it's Lola's favorite band, so like this is something very relatable, I thought, because, you know, I was like, oh my God, this is kind of like me, but with Björk. I'm like, girl, I get it.
That's great. That's great. That was me with Britney.
Me growing up, it was Gaga.
Well, it was Britney until it was Gaga, for sure.
My first,
When
like,
she came out.
I mean, I loved Gwen Stefani, but then
Love
I
Gwen
really
Stefani.
got into Lady Gaga when she came on the scene.
Me too.
And she's just kind of talking about how she thinks Stu Wolf is the greatest poet since Shakespeare. And his music, like, speaks to her, and it's the only way she's gonna, like, get through her life in the suburbs.
She is, like, #1 SidArthur fan. Like, she would so have a Tumblr. Like,
Oh, dedicated.
Yes.
She would have loved Tumblr.
Tumblr. She's such a Tumblr girly.
She is such a Tumblr girly. Her first day of school is she's riding her bike, and this is my
This is so good.
favorite outfit. She's wearing
This is a cute
like
one.
this flowy like hippie poncho top, these like silky bell bottoms, and it's all like gold and like brownish tones, and then and like beiges, and she's wearing this silk like headscarf. And she just has all this. She looks gorgeous.
She is riding her bike and she
and-
looks so derpy. Like, she's this big grin on her face. And then she, like, runs into a tree.
Which I don't get how that happened.
I thought this was so fun. I remember when I was a kid, I remember laughing my ass off at this and being like, she ran into a tree.
I mean, it is so funny. And it's also another clip that was used so much in the promo. For this movie. I remember that.
That's great.
And everyone, when she is pulling up on her bike, they cannot handle her serve.
And the music's like, I'm a black sheep and I don't fit in here.
Yeah. Yep.
No one understands me because I'm
And-
different.
They just can't handle that she's eating them up because everyone looks frumpy. And she's like, no, I look good in what I wear.
And she doesn't wear designer. It's like clearly all thrifted.
Thrifted. She's New York. That's what you do. Like, you just buy
So
what
New
you
York.
find. And then we meet Miss Ella at
Ella
the bike
Gerard.
rack. And Ella Gerard is another huge SidArthur fan. But
She's got all the pins.
but she's a big fan of the drummer.
Steve.
So, which is good. Because that was also a thing I feel like people did when it came to, like, bands or, like, boy bands. They'd be like, okay, you can have, like, Harry.
Yeah.
I get Zayn.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can have Louis. Nobody gets Liam.
Ooh. Ooh, too soon.
And they notice each other's like buttons of like SidArthur, and they're like, "Oh my god, hey,
You like SidArthur?
yeah, I think Stu Wolf's the greatest thing since Shakespeare. Me too."
Let's be best friends.
And they
kinda.
literally become best friends,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Ella she wears glasses. She's like a dorky girl.
She's the kind of
very
dorky
shy. She dresses very frumpy.
Oh, and then they're in class, like homeroom, getting ready, and they're sharing. Lola has an entire like book dedicated,
Yeah, a little scrapbook.
to
So cute.
SidArthur.
She's like, this is the dress I'm gonna wear when Stu and I get married, and it's Marilyn Monroe's dress from 7 Year Itch.
Yep.
The white one.
Yep. And then we get to meet the bitch of this movie,
Megan Fox, and it goes
playing Miss Carla Santini. Yes, and her theme
Uh-oh.
song this whole movie is "Never Leave You" by Lumity. Every time she's on screen, that song is playing, and it's amazing. And she's like, SidArthur, you know, my dad is Stu Wolf's lawyer. And Lola's like, oh my god, he must have been in the same room as him and stuff. And she's like, many times.
I love Megan Fox, bitch.
And-
Is this her earliest role?
No, her earliest role is Holiday in the Sun with...
Oh, Mary Kate and Ashley, Holiday in the Sun. Oh my god, that's so funny.
It is... Oh, I love Megan Fox, but...
This is bad. I want to watch it.
We can, I love it. It's such a bad movie, it's amazing.
Yeah. She looks so good, though.
Anyways,
oh my god, she's so young in this. She's like
was it?
16.
Yeah, she's very young.
crazy.
And she looks great. And then we meet probably my favorite character in this movie.
Oh my god,
Miss Baggoli.
Miss Baggoli.
Who is played by the actress that played...
Carol Kane a bit. She's
Carol
a
Kane.
great character actress.
She's amazing.
Most known for being grandma in the Addams Family movies
Yes.
of the 90s.
She was amazing.
So funny in this. She's my favorite part of this movie.
She is
Camp
coked out the whole time.
Oh, she's a tweaker.
She is amazing.
Straight up tweaker.
And like, Lola runs up to her and is like, hey, I know the attendance is going to say Mary. My name is Lola. I do not go by Mary. Nobody knows that I've been called Lola since I was born. I don't even know who this Mary is. And she's like, Lola.
Lola.
I like that
I
name.
like that.
I like that
Lola.
name. Lola. This is Lola.
She's a little Carol Channing.
Yes.
A little Carol
She's a
Channing.
little Carol Channing.
I love it.
And then we get to lunch, and Lola and Carla still are continuing to just like bitch each other out.
Yeah, she's like, she does that Mean Girl thing where it's like, you know, you can either hang out with dorks like Ella, or you could hang with a popular crowd.
And like she says, like, if you play your cards right, you might be able to hang with us. And Lola like very snarkily says, just what I've always dreamed of.
Oh, she did not like that.
And then we see her going, like Carla knew immediately, like, oh, this bitch doesn't
I
like
hate
it.
this bitch.
And Lola, we see her following Ella, and I kind of noticed, like, Ella kind of looks down, so I think Ella kind of got, like, this vibe that she wasn't going to sit with her. And she's like, hey, can I sit with you? And Ella perks up immediately, and I'm like, Lola's the realist.
Lola is the realist.
Even though she's a compulsive liar, she's the realist.
That's true. That's the whole plot of this movie.
She will not turn her back, because she's like, no, I liked Ella. I don't care what your opinion is on her. I vibed with her.
Yeah.
My first impression of her was great. Mine of Carla's was not.
Yeah. Carla's a bitch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then we meet another character because Lola's like, who's like staring at us? And then we meet Sam. It was Lola's shoehorned in boyfriend.
He has like, he's like 2 lines in this movie. He has no personality that we see. But he's a cute little twink, I guess. And he's smiling at her.
I'm in real. I just don't think he's super necessary to the plot. But
No.
it's a teen coming of age movie from the early 2000s. So
She needed a love interest.
it needed a love interest.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, it can't just be about girl power and friendship.
But
There
I
needs to be a
do,
boy in
I
there.
do like how after he introduces himself to her, and you know she thinks he's like sweet or whatever, he starts walking away and she's checking out his butt.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, but I couldn't have a boyfriend. I have to focus on my acting career."
Yeah. Because that's her whole thing.
Yeah.
We then go to Ella's house after school, and Ella's in a gated community.
Oh yeah.
And Lola's kind of like, I'm the kind of person they, like, she's narrating, and she's like, I'm the kind of person they keep out of places like this.
Oh my god.
They do not want people
we
like
didn't
me.
even talk about this. Lindsay Lohan is so, I will always say this. No other actress can do this kind of like teen coming of age narration Like,
She knows how to deliver a narration line and make it like interesting and part of like the movie and the character. Like you get a good insight into
like
Lola.
Mean Girls would not be what it was.
I mean, imagine Hilary Duff doing these lines.
Lindsay Lohan. Hillary's great at doing this.
Not for this
it's
character.
for a particular character. Because I think Hillary does such a good job of that in A Cinderella Story, which is another one of my favorite movies. Yeah. Hillary's more earnest.
Yes.
But Lindsay's really good at the comedy. Yeah.
Lindsay's just, she is. Like, I'm glad she's coming back because Lindsay is just so
She's such an underrated actress. I mean, she has so many great movies.
Like, I mean, before, like, everything kind of went to shit with her.
Well, she's had a tough go.
People always were like, "Oh, she's going to be huge. She's going to be like the next." Because she is just, she's
is
so natural and good at it.
And relatable.
Every time she smiles, it just makes me so happy to see.
She fucking lights up the screen. I swear.
And that's why I love seeing her right now because she's.
I'm so proud of her.
She looks so good, and I'm just so happy to see her back. But Ella has her walls decorated with like SidArthur, and they start making out.
With the dolls, like
making the dolls and like
making
the
boy dolls make out with each other,
which I thought was very funny.
And I like how Ella goes, like,
"I like Steve."
Yeah, I like Steve.
Yeah, because like Lola's going on this like, she's always so dramatic about how she like talks about Steve. She's like, the stars of my nights, the sun of my day, the like.
I know, she's always got like soliloquies.
Soliloquy after soliloquy. She's like, "I love Stu," and Ella just goes, "I like Steve."
I like Steve.
And then Ella's mom comes in and gives them poppers?
Poppers. She
I don't
gives
know.
them poppers. No,
something that like
there's something. They're like
a microwavable
snack, like a pizza rolls or.
And Lola just
Hot
kind of makes
Pockets.
like a comment. She's like, "Oh, I feel like I'm at a diner like right now." And she's like, "Well, they're just microwavable poppers. I just put them in, and I thought your mother would do that." And she's like, "No, my mom doesn't really believe in microwaves." Which, okay, I'm gonna be real. I kind of get. I don't like my microwave.
Well, there's lots of
and they're just
controversy about like radiation and how good are they for you,
and I just don't really
like that.
care to use it that much. I just don't.
They make stuff soggy.
I only like heating up food in a microwave. That's the only thing I really like it for.
But only if it's like pasta.
Yeah, like a mac and cheese, microwaved mac and cheese after.
Yeah.
Or if it's a microwavable meal, I'll do that. But I do that at work.
Usually, like put shit in the air fryer because it'll be crispier and not as
it's
like
tastier.
soggy.
Air fryer's the way to go.
But the mom, she's very conservative, and she goes, "Oh well, I've never heard anyone take an issue with an appliance before," and like kind of walks away.
Yeah, and Lola's like, "Why doesn't your mom like me?"
She's like, she doesn't not like you. She just thinks you're strange. I mean, you are strange. And Lola does not like that because, like, we see her storming out of Ella's
she's like,
house.
"I'm not going to talk to you like that." And she's like, "Listen, it's not you. It's your mom. She saw your mom at the grocery store wearing overalls and with chopsticks in her hair arguing with the butcher." And I'm like, what's weird about any of that?
Yeah.
The butcher probably was not preparing it right.
Because this is the suburbs, and, like, if you're not, like, super clean cut, cookie cutter, look like everybody else, people are gonna judge you. They're afraid of the unknown, whatever. And she's like a hippy dippy kind of mom.
Yeah, because she's stoned out this whole movie. There's a lot of drugs going on. Miss Baggoli, coke.
The
Lindsay's
mom, pot.
Mm-hmm.
And so Lola creates a big fabricated lie about her life in this scene.
And she talks about how her mom and dad were madly in love. And when they were pregnant with the twins, and I love this whole sequence. It's
this
so
is a great sequence.
It's so like
it's so
fun design, and like it looks like comic booky.
Comic book, and they're wearing very 80s costumes.
Yeah,
the mom and the dad.
It's very fun, and it's about they're falling madly in love, and the dad got in a motorcycle accident and died.
Yes. So it's like she paints this whole tragic story.
And she's like, "Oh, you see, my mother isn't responsible for what happened to our family. She's merely a victim of fate." Like, it's so sad. And
so
Ella
feels
is like,
bad. Yeah.
feels so bad. Like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry that we like did anything."
Yeah, I had no idea. I'm sorry. And
it's a really funny moment because she like realizes like, "Oh, I should be acting sad." So she like puts her head on Ella's shoulder.
Yeah, she's like, "Yeah, that sucks." She goes home though, and I thought this was a sweet moment because she's like, "Hey, Mom," and she's like, "What?" And she's like, "I really like the chopsticks in your hair."
And it's another moment because She's the realist. Even though she just lied about her dad being dead. We get to gym class, and Lola kind of talks about how, like, oh, Carla's really good at getting attention because she knows how to, like, basically talk loud so that everybody hears what she's talking about. And they're hearing Carla talk about how she confronted Miss Baggoli about the production of Pygmalion that they're going to do and how the classics are boring and they're not relatable. And Lola's like, oh, bitch, they're classics because they're classics. Why are we going to change the words of whoever wrote Pygmalion?
I agree. I don't like remakes either, Lola.
And she's like, so I have this plan that we should have it set in New York City. And her friend is, oh, so you've got the part of Eliza. And she's like, duh, basically already got it. And Lola is like, oh, hell no. And she slams the locker, and it somehow is enough force to knock over all the other lockers on the other side.
Scare the shit out of all the girls, including Carla. It's really funny. And so she runs off to find Miss Baggoli. Miss Baggoli, Miss Baggoli, I didn't know that you'd already casted Pygmalion. I would love to have a chance to audition for Eliza if I could just show you. And Miss Baggoli's like, Lola, calm down.
I just put up the notice. Auditions are on Friday.
She's like, oh, thank you, Miss Baggoli.
And she gives a girl who's going to be okay.
Yeah, this is the first... I'm smiling. It's zooming in on my big grin.
Yeah. And then we get to the audition, and Lola is late.
This is my favorite sequence.
It's so good. But she's late. And she has a basket as her school bag with, like, flowers in it for some reason.
She's dressing for the part, I believe. Because first of all, this is my favorite outfit she wears in the movie.
Yeah, it's a very Victorian look.
Yeah, it's inspired by, like, what they would wear in My Fair Lady. Like, very Audrey Hepburn in My Fair Lady.
And it's really cool. It's a very pretty look.
Cool, like, she has, like, that choker that has, like, the brooch, the, like, profile
I did forget
thing.
to mention, she wears a bottle cap necklace. And the design of the bottle cap necklace in the opening sequence, she's wearing pearls, and it's in the exact same, like, pattern as, like, her bottle cap.
To emulate, like,
which I thought was
Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah, which I thought was really cute. So, sorry, that's a note from back, but I did notice that on my rewatch this morning.
Yeah, well, and it's important to note because the bottle cap necklace will play a plot point.
But
yeah,
this is, like, I think the one look where she does not wear it.
She's wearing that really cool choker with like
it's a
what's that
big
thing
velvet
called?
choker,
little profile that they would always wear back in the day.
I forget, but
and she's got like kind of like a corset top. She has like a cool striped jacket and like a long flowy skirt, and her hair is slicked back. It's so cunty. It's giving very like Victorian era, but like early 2000s, like modern.
Yes.
She like updated it.
It's a modern take on. It's very well done.
Yeah.
And Miss Baggoli goes through how it's going to be set in modern New York City. Eliza will be a checkout girl.
And it was all her
professor
idea.
will be in NYU. Carla starts kissing ass. It's like, oh my God, I think that's so smart. And it's going to be such a great take on like,
yeah.
And Lola's like, so this was all your idea, Miss Baggoli? And she goes, yes, Lola.
I'm capable
I
of
may be a
thought,
teacher,
you know?
but I'm capable of thought.
Yeah.
Miss Baggoli goes, and also, to make it more modern, I've added contemporary songs.
She does a little like...
And she's so excited. And so she's like, it's a musical audition. Lola's pissed. She's like, I don't have my bars. I don't have my selection. If I'd known, and she's like, it's okay, just improvise.
How could I possibly?
And she's so mad. I would be mad too. I'm sorry.
Oh, I hate this kind of shit. Yeah, I like
you
to
telling
be
me last
prepared.
minute it's a musical theater audition? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's start.
She's like, is there some kind of song you could come up with?
And she's like, I guess I'll sing a song by my favorite bands. And then we get Don't Move On.
This is my favorite part in the whole movie. Don't move
on. Don't move on. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move on.
And she always goes, don't move.
Don't. She like growls.
It's like Christina Aguilera.
To the highest mountain.
It's such a good song. I love it.
People are waiting.
And so she starts like a cappella, and then Miss Baggoli
gets
is a piano genius somehow.
And gets so into it.
It's so funny. She like knows the song. She creates this like arrangement on the spot. It's like
and then
beautiful
actual
orchestra
like rock
version.
music comes in.
Yeah,
and it's so crazy. Sam sneaks in to watch the audition because they want to remind you that Sam likes her.
Right. Yeah. And Carla looks shitty
she's
because
so mad because she knows
Lola can sing and she's great. And she ends it on like a high belt. And
they're all cheering. Even Carla's friend is cheering, who is played by the Casey from
Life with Derek, the one who wanted to fuck her stepbrother.
It got awkward because those actors started dating.
Oh, and you could tell.
You could tell
The
sexual
chemistry between
was,
those siblings.
the tension you could cut with a fucking knife.
Oh my god!
My 14-year-old little brain, or like 12-year-old little brain watching the show was like,
I was like, oh,
weird.
They're gonna have sex.
I was like, this is weird.
She wants to fuck her brother. Yep.
I was like, if this was Degrassi, it would have already happened.
Yep. Oh, I love Degrassi. But anyway, yeah. So Lola feels very good about her audition.
We now get the iconic scene of them pulling up to school to get to the cast list. And this, you used to do musical theater and like theater in high school. Was this a big deal, seeing the cast list?
Absolutely, yes.
It was like the biggest.
The biggest fucking
Waiting
deal.
for that cast list to get posted was so nerve-wracking.
It was like, I would throw up.
And it was heartbreaking sometimes. And then we get the scene of them running through the school. There's like Lola throws like a bunch of VHSs on the ground.
This is so funny, yeah.
And she slips someone.
They're tripping, falling over
They're
each other.
slipping on the wet floor. And then they run into a door that's locked.
And hit like splat against the glass door.
And then Carla gets to the cast list first. And if you watch, you can tell the moment when she did not get what she wanted. But she turns and goes, once again, I get the part that I wanted.
Yeah.
And Lola says to Ella, there are no small parts, just small actors.
This is true.
You can quote me.
Yeah.
And she looks at the list. And she turns around and says, I'm your new Eliza! And they're freaking out. And we learn
She
that
got the part.
Carla got
Mrs. Johnson or some shit.
Mrs. Johnson or
yeah.
some She's like, she's a much more interesting role. And and she starts to get a little emotional. And she's like, and it's the part that I wanted. And
Well, good, because it's the part that you got.
And she gets up in Lola's face and says, let me show you what it's like to be in my school.
Is that a threat?
Absolutely.
And it goes, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. It's iconic.
Yep.
It's iconic. But yes, so Lola is going to play Eliza, the lead in Her School Musical. How exciting. But that night, on the radio...
Oh, no.
She learns that
SidArthur is breaking up.
And she freaks out and she opens the window and she has this fantasy of Stu
Wolf
Wolf
riding a
like a
asteroid
meteor
that says end of the world.
crashing down.
She's like, no!
Mom, I can't breathe.
I can't breathe. That's what she says.
She pulls a Jamae. She's like, I can't breathe.
And then her and Ella are mourning the death of SidArthur.
Yeah, they're having a funeral.
And they're having a protest, and they're just...
I love her outfit in this scene, too. She's got, like, a black kind of, like, matador. She
Yes.
kind of looked like...
it's like a marching band kind of look.
It reminded me of Madonna from Take a Bow. The, like, matador look that she wears.
Yes, and she is mourning. She releases some balloons that don't fly away.
Yep. Symbolically, of course. Yeah, she's just so bummed out that SidArthur is breaking up. I mean, that's her whole life. That's her whole personality.
And they're going to continue to protest. And so they go to the mall. And they're at the arcade. And Carla is dancing her ass off.
Dance Revolution.
Kicking some girl's ass. And like Lola and Ella are like, why are people not more mad? SidArthur just announced they're breaking up. Why are people not burning down
They're
this
acting
fucking
like
mall?
it's like the biggest thing.
They're acting like, why are we not burning down Capitol buildings?
They're like, people died. People died, and it's just SidArthur breaking up.
It's just SidArthur breaking up. And so then Lola decides, I'm going to kick
I'm going to challenge Carla.
in this Dance Revolution.
Did you ever play Dance Revolution?
Yes, I loved it.
I loved it too. I played it at
We could
my
get it for
cousin's
my Wii.
house. Yeah, we should.
We should get dance
We
match
have
for the
to, yeah.
This dance scene is so good because they're
love
doing their
this
little
scene.
dance and Carla's like, so as you know, they've broken up. And they're like going through this whole discussion and Lola is playing up with it. Like, yeah, I know what you're
Oh my
talking
god,
about.
and I'm sorry, I hate to comment on every single outfit, but Lola's wearing this like hip hop inspired look. It's so cute.
It's so cute. No comment on it. And then Carla's in like a Juicy Couture like tracksuit.
Yeah,
look.
juicy. Yeah.
And they're like discussing. She's like, so you may have heard the band's having a final show in New York. And Lola's like, of course I knew that because of blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, my lawyers talked to this person. And then Lola comes up with this lie, and it's actually kind of a good lie. She's like, well, my mom in New York, she commissioned a piece for the manager. The manager, because she knew his name, or like threw out a name and was like, oh, this is his name. And Carla was like, oh, duh, of course I know his name. It's
Everyone knows that, yeah.
but it's also like, is it? But also, I would believe that Lola probably does know their name because she's such a huge fan of the
She
band.
probably read it in a magazine.
So,
yeah.
Which I love. But I also kind of love how Carla's like, well, everyone knows that. As if, like, she probably didn't fucking know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Carla, like, knows SidArthur, but she's probably one of those where it's like she grew up around them so much because, like, I mean, her dad is Stu Sawyer. It's like, well, I just know them. It's not like I need to know everything about them.
Well, Carla is a performative fan.
Yeah.
She's only interested in
the aspect of
the fact that they're popular.
It's like people who like go to like whenever artists become big or something and then go to their concerts and will buy the most expensive tickets, but they don't give a shit about the show.
Then like barely watch it. I know that pisses me the fuck off.
And they're doing
it's a very shallow thing to do.
Yeah, basically she comes up with the lie that her mom had done a piece of work for the manager, and so he owed them a promise, and she's like, so with my connections, he's getting us tickets, and we're getting invited to the after party that's also happening. Because Carla had mentioned the after party, and she's like, wow, your mom must be quite a Potter. And she's like, yeah, she is.
And, well, at first she loses the first round.
Yes.
But she eats Carla up in the second round, and she wins Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah.
And it's very cunty.
Yeah.
She does like that move where she like swings over the like banister thing.
Yes.
It's like, what game is this? Like, what version of Dance Dance Revolution would you have to like ride a pommel horse? It's so funny.
Ella is pissed when Lola tells her what they discussed with Carla.
Yeah.
She's like, girl, you are setting us up for failure.
Well, Ella's very straight-laced.
She's like, girl, I am going to get us these tickets.
Does not like to lie. She does not like to break the rules. She's like a very goody two-shoes.
She's like, listen, this is what we'll do. Like, we'll say we're each sleeping over at each other's houses. We'll take a train to New York. We'll get the tickets. Boom. Nothing to worry about. And then we'll be back in the city. We'll be back home before anyone knows it. And she's like, we'll stop at the after party real quick just to see Carla, rub it in her face, and then we'll dip out. And so Ella's like, okay, whatever, you're crazy. Lola then goes on a hunger strike, and she's in a Gandhi-inspired look.
So funny.
And her mom tries to cut her a deal. And this is when we actually learn. Because we get a phone call.
Oh, yes.
And she's like, her mom's like, oh, she's being a drama queen. She's on a hunger strike. Okay, you can talk to her. It's your dad. He wants to know if you'll go to if he can take you to the show.
Her dad's alive. He was never killed.
And she says, no, I would be embarrassed by that.
Yeah, we'd be caught dead.
And then her mom's like, okay, well, I tried. And her sister's like, is Lola going to die because of the hunger strike? She goes, no, but it smells like something died in you.
I like her voice.
And then she finds a pizza underneath her bed. And she's like, no allowance for the month.
Yep. So now Lola can't even get a new outfit for the concert.
Yeah. Or get tickets. So now we get the scene. It's lunchtime, and they're outside, and we get Megan Fox's group in their iconic Burberry looks.
I love Burberry. It was kind of hideous, but,
but it was good.
Super kind. Yeah.
It was so fun. It was
and
like,
she's
oh,
got
that
like
bitch got Burberry.
Burberry fedora and like a Burberry little bag.
And
like
skirt.
A little mini skirt.
Her one friend's wearing like the Burberry shirt.
Yeah.
Like they're all in like...
Yeah, she makes...
They don't wear the same outfits, but they match.
She makes her cronies like coordinate with her.
And it's iconic. So iconic. Yeah. And she's like, so my tickets came.
Yeah, look at my ticket.
Today. What about yours? She's like, well, actually mine came yesterday, but I have the courtesy to not flaunt them in everybody's face.
Yeah.
And Ella's like kind of nervous, and they're like, well, guess we'll see you guys at the concert. And Ella goes, yeah, we'll be there. She gets like the confidence.
It's a big moment for Ella.
She's like, oh my God. And Lola's like, really? She's like, yeah. And so then they go to buy tickets. Bitch, it's sold out.
And this is when we get my favorite line of the movie. And it's something that I said for so many years. Like when I first watched this movie, it did a little something up here in my brain.
It tickled that part of your brain.
That part of my brain. Megan Fox shows up and she goes, oh, it's you. I'd stay and chat, but I don't want to stay and chat.
And Lola goes, see you at the concert Friday.
Yeah.
She's like, that'd be a good line if we were going to the fucking concert.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, well, what we could do, we could go get to Scalpers. They'll be in New York. It's the easiest way. She's like, it's guaranteed tickets.
Yeah.
We then go back to Lola's house, and she's like, hey, Mom, like, there's going to be an after party. Like, can I have money to get a look for the after party? Like, I need to look absolutely fat. And she's lying. It's really, she wants to look for the concert. And she's like, well,
I just had to spend $600 to fix the car, and I got a new kiln, which kilns are fucking expensive.
Yep. So
Even personal kilns nowadays cost like $1,200. So like, she's like, can you just like absolutely perfect in something else? She's like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. This is another moment where I really like Lola and her character, because she has moments to where she can be so immature and be such a brat, and she's like, nope, it's cool, I got it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, what the fuck is her mom gonna do?
Yeah, like, no.
It's not in the budget.
You know, she could have been like a brat though and been like, oh my god, like, you're ruining my life.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, no, she's not.
Yeah,
She didn't
I
do
noted that too. Yeah, she does. Yeah, she's not ungrateful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she's going through her whole wardrobe.
Yeah, we get like a trying on clothes montage, which I always
and
love.
it just piles up, and Ella starts to like panic.
Oh,
and
Ella has like some kind of severe anxiety disorder.
And Lola's like, girl, it's okay. I'll find something to wear, and accessories will change the whole look. Like, I'm good.
she thinks she's worrying about
she's
her.
like, I can't lie to my parents.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's like, okay. And what I also appreciate
yeah, she's
is
freaking out.
Lola is like, then we will figure this out, and we will make this work out.
Yeah.
Because we also had learned that Ella's parents were going to be in New York during the concert for a long weekend. So like, oh, we can just say we're in the town with them, but we're not, and then we'll just come back.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And so Ella was like, no, I can't lie about this. And so Lola's like, okay, I'll handle this. So she goes to her mom and is like, hey, I need your help. This is our plan. They're going to be in New York. We can stay with them. They can drop us off at the concert. It'll be great. We'll stay with them after, and then we'll come back by the train. No worries. Like, we're being supervised. And Lola's mom was like, okay, sure, I can do that. We can do that. And she's like, okay, cool. But you need to act like it was your idea, because Ella's parents don't know anything about it. And she's like, bitch, Lola. But she does it.
Yeah.
And
she dresses, she kind of
dresses conservatively. She's like, can you like judge
conservatively.
it up for them, please? Just like let them know that you're like normal. And I like this scene too, because Ella's parents are like, do you really want to go to the concert this badly? And she's like more than anything, they're like, well, why didn't you just ask us? And she's like, I didn't know I could.
I found this super relatable because
Yeah.
I always had very conservative, very strict parents.
Where you kind of just get like, can I ask you?
Yeah,
Like,
I was frightened to ask my parents.
and so like it's a good moment for like, it's another like, I really like Ella's character, because like you kind of see her like get more confident throughout this. And so they're like, awesome. They've got it all set up. And so they're going to take the train, and we now get a iconic scene because Lola still needs an outfit. And this is one of my favorite scenes because Ella comes up to Miss Baggoli during rehearsal and was like, hey, Miss Baggoli, somebody broke a high heel.
Ladies and
I need to make an announcement. I need to make an
I
announcement.
have
for
an
everybody.
announcement.
Costumes
are sacred.
Costumes are sacred. It's such an iconic moment. And then
she's such a tweaker.
we get this really cute scene of Lola imagining dancing with Stu
wearing the
Marilyn Monroe
7-year itch dress.
and
yeah.
like it's an
I
homage to
wanna be loved by you, just you, nobody else but you.
and so Lola it then is revealed she's actually not dancing with Stu, she's dancing with Miss Baggoli, and she's like Lola.
It's so funny.
And she plans to steal Eliza's dress.
Yep, the red sequin dress.
Gonna have Sam help her.
Mm-hmm.
Lola is kind of distracted during rehearsal in the dance part because she's thinking about Sam stealing the dress. Like, oh my god, I hope he doesn't get caught. And Miss Baggoli loses it because she keeps messing up the steps. And she's like,
She goes, everybody keep rehearsing, and I'm gonna go get something I really need out of my dressing room.
And we're like, bitch, what do you really need?
Girl, you know exactly what
needed
she
her coat.
was.
She needed to do another bump. She was
needing her stash.
She was coming down.
She
So
was
she's like, oh no.
Her mood was in shift because she was sobering up.
And
she
she was like, withdrawals.
Yeah.
I gotta take a little key right now.
Dude.
Should I do a little? She's a 365 party girl.
Oh, she is probably the most 365 party girl I've ever seen. Miss
And-
Baggoli.
Oh, Lola's like, oh shit, Sam is in the costume shop right now, trying to steal
Stealing the dress, yeah.
So she's like, I need to follow her. And Miss Baggoli notices that the costume shop is unlocked. She's like, I could have sworn I locked this. What's going on? And we see
She
like this whole
analyzes
sequence-
the doorknob for a second.
we see this whole sequence of like Lola trying to like distract her while Sam is like trying to hide.
And then
Yes, and my favorite is he like
there's to be a mannequin.
Yeah,
head.
there's like all the mannequin heads, and he like puts a wig on and is like, you know,
make it like a face.
yeah,
Do like a Medusa face, like
and she's like scanning each one, and her coked out ass does not even tell that it's a
She's,
fucking
like,
dude.
tweaking.
It's so funny. But yeah, and it kind of looks like, oh, maybe he didn't have enough time to get the dress. And Lola comes up to him in like a cute little cowgirl outfit later, and she's like, "Hey, I'm sorry about that. I tried to distract Miss Baggoli, but you know it sucks. We didn't get the dress." Da da da. And he's like, "What do you mean? Check under the hood." And we see that he was able to get her red
the
sequin
Eliza dress.
Yes.
And then now we're getting ready for the concert, and they are on the train.
Great. It's
And
a getting
Ella
ready
says,
montage.
and this is the big mistake of this movie. I don't want to go anywhere near a scalper. Here, take the money.
She gave it to Lola, who we know is not responsible.
And they are getting ready, and they
puts-
look great. They both look so great.
This
They're
getting ready montage is fun.
fun, yeah.
There's a point where like they're teasing
mess-
their hair
and
and
they
their
mess
hair
up the
gets
makeup.
stuck together, and then Ella gets powder everywhere and she sneezes. It causes Lola to smear her makeup, and this was fun. And they get off the train, and they both look so cute. Like Lola obviously is in the red sequin dress.
And Ella's in this like purple, like velvety dress.
It's like very 1920s flapper girl.
Yeah,
and she has
it's
like the
cute.
curly, like the finger wave flapper.
It's one of Lola's dresses because I noticed it in the pile of clothes, and I was like,
okay.
oh, that's the dress Ella wears. So I thought that's a nice little cute little detail.
It's
That's
the
like,
first
oh, well,
time
she
we've
was,
seen Ella not dressed super frumpy.
and she probably would have only had conservative stuff because like her parents and where she is, like she can only buy. So it was cool to have her like in one of Lola's dresses.
Yeah.
And the parents are like, you two look great. Like, and Lola's like, oh, it's just a quiet little concert.
No
Like,
need to worry. And then like it cuts, and it's like a huge party.
Red carpet,
and,
like,
there's a million
barricaded.
people,
And the cop is like, hey, like, no girls, like, you gotta be careful. Like, and they're like, oh, our tickets are at the door.
are at the door.
And she's like, oh, okay, cool.
They get up
And
to the
she's
door.
like, so where's the scalpers? Like, where's the window? Like, she's like, oh, girl, they're just ordinary people.
Yeah.
And then a guy flashes 2 tickets, and he's like, 165 orchestra. Bitch, that's amazing.
Well, it's funny because she goes, "Don't worry, Ella, I got this. I know how to bargain with these people. You got to be tough with them." And he's like, 165, no final offer. And she's like, "Sounds good, we'll take it."
And Ella's like, bitch, we can't get, like,
She's like, "That doesn't offer of us very much for incidentals." And she's like, "When you get to see Sue Wolf courtside, you don't need room."
Which
for
I'm
incidentals."
kind of like, I get that. I'm like,
I get it too.
I'm at the point now, concert merch, it has to be really good for me to buy it.
No,
Or else it
100%.
sucks. Like, I went to Charlie and I love Charlie, but like all the merch was too expensive for what it was.
It's expensive. They're always sold out of my size every time both times we went to United Center last year, I was so disappointed. They never had my size.
I'm sorry.
That's why I never wear my Madonna Erotica shirt, because it's just too small. But it's cute.
If you want, I could probably like cut up and like put it on like a jacket or something, like the Madonna part.
No, I might have to take you up
Turn
on
it
that
into like a
offer.
patch.
That would be kind of cut. I don't know. I might just order like one.
Yeah.
But
And she's like, oh, well, my money is in your makeup bag.
oh yeah, let me get it. It's in my purse. Da da da. She starts rummaging through her purse.
She can't find it. She's
can't
like,
find
I
money.
left it on the sink.
In the train. Yeah, this is the part I
When
hate.
it's like the moment she should have given her the money
Bitch.
was when they had gotten off the train.
The train.
Been like, here, you take it. I don't want to touch it to
Yeah.
a scalper. Oh, this scene makes me so upset. And so then they're like, fuck. Let's just try to sneak in. We'll just go in with a big crowd.
And Ella's freaking out, but she's like, just follow my lead, follow
She's
my
like,
lead.
she's like, the worst that's going to happen is we're going to get told no. Mm-hmm. Which is true.
But then
Ella gets through, and it looks like Lola's getting through, and as soon as she's like, the guy grabs her, which,
Lola gets
okay,
soft.
first of all, don't grab a lady like that. And don't grab anyone like that. He grabs her.
yeah, he's like, hey.
I need to see your ticket
Ticket.
again. She's like, oh, of course. And she's like, oh, I must have dropped it. And he's like, no ticket, no entry.
So then she's like, but I really need to see my friend. My friend has a condition. And it's funny because Ella's like freaking out and she has such bad anxiety that it does kind of look like she has a condition. And he's like, okay, sounds good. So he kicks out Ella too. And now they're
Damn.
both barred from getting into the
And
concert.
so then they're like trying to listen to the concert through the back doors. And it's just, you feel bad for them.
Yeah, it sucks. So they're like, well, what do we do now? I guess
Like, well,
we'll
go to the party.
go to the party. Well, where's the party?
Just right around the corner. She says, like, it's like 47 blocks. She's like,
47 blocks is around the corner. And it starts storming.
Yes. I love this montage of them running around the city trying to get to this party.
Oh, wow.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's a cute song. And it starts pouring rain, and their outfits get all wet, and their makeup's running, and their hair's all wet, and it's just a disaster.
Ella's like, let's just go back to the hotel. And she's like, girl, we're almost there.
Yeah.
And then they notice, Ella notices, some man is watching them and following them. With a
This was
dog.
kind of the horror scene in the movie.
Yeah,
It was
so
kind of
for anyone who's
suspenseful.
mad about No Scream November, this is scary.
This is scary, yeah.
And Lola's like, okay, well, let me handle this guy. Don't worry. She goes up. It's her dad. He's keeping an eye on them.
Yeah.
And this was kind of a dumb moment, because this was the moment where she could have been like, do you have any cash on you? But she's like, hey, we're fine. We're just going to a party. He's like, okay. Well,
Hey, can you lay low because you're kind of sketching my friend out?
yeah, like, he's like, oh, okay, sorry.
So she deals with that, and she comes up and she's like, that guy is not going to bother us anymore. Come on, let's go. And they finally manage to find their way to Stu Wolf's party. They find the red door that they know, because the only reason that they know where this fucking party is because Lola saw in a magazine a picture of Stu Wolf's house, and she knows that it's a red door with windows.
Yep.
So she's like, they've just been walking around trying to find a red door with windows this whole time.
Yep.
So they found it, luckily. And when they're trying to get in, the bouncer is like, what's your name? Can I have your name? Are you on the list?
Yeah, and they're like, there it is, that's her name. And he's like, you're Mr. and Mrs. Robinson. Those are my parents. My mom's really sick, and my dad's in surgery.
But I thought you just said your name was Step. So what is the truth, Ellen?
She's like, well, can I just use your phone? Call my parents, please.
No, you can go use a public phone. So just nothing's working.
Yep. And then, of all the luck in the world, who comes stumbling out of the party but Stu Wolf? And Lola locks eyes with him like, holy shit.
Yep. And Steve.
And Steve comes out, so Ella's wet.
Steve, I love you. I was trying to talk to Steve.
And we see Stu is a little intoxicated.
Oh, he's fucked up. He has 3 sheets to the wind, and they're in a big fight. And
Steve's like, fuck him.
Steve's
I don't want
fuck
to deal with him anymore.
He goes back in the party. He's like, this is why we're breaking up. Da, 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 da.
I've dealt with this all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And Lola and Ella start to follow Stu. And he
Yeah.
passed out in a pile of garbage.
Yep, in like an alleyway somewhere. So they rescue him. They take him to a diner.
And they're like, we're just getting you coffee because it's free.
So fucked the fuck up. And he is belligerent. They keep commenting how he smells really bad.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want onion rings.
and a hamburger deluxe. He's British, which is so amazing.
Yeah.
He's like, I want hamburger deluxe.
He's
there's cops
designed
there.
to look like Tom York from Radiohead.
Yeah.
Very vibes. He has that long, like,
Shaggy hair.
early 2000s shaggy hair.
He's got facial hair. He wears blazers.
Yeah.
He's sophisticated.
Yeah.
He's a rocker.
He's like modern day Mick Jagger kind of
And
vibes.
the cops are there. He's fucked up. And they hand him a donut. Well, they're like, Stu, do you have any money on you? He's like,
I knew you wanted money. Everyone just wants money out
He's like,
of me.
I got nothing on me. They're like, okay, yeah, so Stu, we can't order food.
I want bloody onion rings.
And they bring over a donut. He's like, I want a donut. I want onion rings. And he throws the donut at a
Not a
cop.
cop. So they get arrested.
So they get arrested.
Yep. They're at the police station.
And she gives her dad's address in New York. And I was like, what the fuck? You just lied. Like, you just gave a fake address. She's like, no, my dad lives in New York. She's like,
But you said your dad died.
oh, well, I exaggerated a little
Oh, yeah.
bit. She literally says, I
I
exaggerated
just
a little bit.
exaggerated. She's like, exaggerating is saying you're just a little taller, but saying your dad died is lying beyond comprehension.
Like, you're insane.
Yeah. So they get into this big fight.
This pisses off Ella because she's like, I just wanted to make myself more interesting. She's like, look at where we are right now.
Yeah.
She's like, this had nothing to do with your dad.
Right.
This whole situation. we're
Lola
in.
never needed to lie to make herself seem interesting.
Yeah, she's like, you didn't need to do that.
Exactly. So she's learning a moral here.
Yeah, and she's
Don't
like, and
lie.
Ella's like, no, I'm pissed off at you right now.
Mhm.
Like, I do not want to talk to you right now.
She's like, so you just went ahead and killed your father? Is that what you did? And this is funny because Stu, out of context, is like, she killed her father. And gets like really scared of Lola. It's funny. So anyway, they're waiting around. Finally, Lola's dad shows up. He takes care of the whole situation. They give their testimonies of what happened.
And we learn his dog is like a dog in like commercials or like a children's book or something.
Yeah, or something like a really famous dog actor.
Yeah. And he's like, oh my God, I can't wait to tell like my little niece that I met you. And he's like, yeah, never.
Stu Wolf is. He's very impressed.
He's a huge fan of like the dog. And they're like, Lola's a huge fan of him. He's a huge fan of her dog.
Yeah.
It's like,
so because of all of this, they're cool with Stu. Her dad is like, let's just go to Stu's party.
Yeah,
and
we'll go in. Y'all want to go? We'll give you this. At least you'll have this one good thing from this. You met Stu. You didn't get to go to the concert, but at least you met Stu and got to do this. And they get there, and Ella's still kind of pissed.
She doesn't want to go in the party because she's so mad.
Yeah, she's like, and then Lola's dad is like, well, do you all want to go? Like, we can go back home. We can go back to the hotel. And she's like,
well, maybe we can stay
for
a
little bit. Because it's like, I mean, girl, come on.
You go on. So they go in and they have a big party montage.
It's a really funny scene because as soon as they walk in, Stu and all the guests who are in all white just turn
and like pose.
And look right
like they're
at
on like an Abercrombie and French.
And he's like all sobered up. He's like, good. He's like, hey, my saviors. Like,
At
why
this
don't you get out of those wet
he's-
clothes
yeah.
and like go dry off? I'll give you some, you can borrow some of my stuff.
Yeah, so they get to put on cool like
And
punk
this,
rock.
imagine this. Imagine getting to go through like your favorites.
Oh my
closet.
God, Madonna being like, here, you can just wear my stuff.
Go through my heard of Lady Gaga.
But yeah, fun montage of them like dancing around and
And the
Stu's
outfits are
clothes.
really cute. Lola's wearing this like band t-shirt and
Ella's
these, like,
got
bell
the
bottoms.
thigh-high Converse
Converse.
that everyone fucking wanted.
And
I
these,
loved
like,
those.
These like cool cutoffs, and she's wearing like a silver, like a really cool like hat, and
Mm-hmm.
then Lola's wearing like a fur coat. It's so cool, and they're just rocking out in his room, like.
Yeah. And we get like we do get this moment of Ella being like, "We're cool, but you have to promise me you will never lie to me again."
Like this. We're gonna have a great time tonight. You better not fucking do that to me again, because that was fucked up. She's
and
like, yeah, I'm good.
Lola apologizes, and it's very sincere. You can tell she has learned her lesson.
Yes.
And later they're out partying. They turn over and they see
Carla and her friend Casey from like Derek, and they're like, Carla, and Carla has like a camera, which is something important to note, and she's like, oh, she darts,
She sees them and she gets
she leaves, and Ella's like, oh, she looked mad.
If looks could kill.
So they're like, oh fuck yeah, we got what we wanted.
It was awesome. And then Stu comes up and he's like, oh, my rescuers. And we can tell he's fucked up again.
And Ella's like, well, I'm going to go hang out with Steve. I'm going to go see Steve. And Lola's like, perfect. I'm going to talk to Stu and like ask him all the questions I've wanted to ask. And she's like, listen, I'm so obsessed with you. And like, I just want to know, what did you mean when you said people are waiting behind doors? People are who are waiting to sparkle.
Behind some doors,
to sparkle.
people are waiting to sparkle.
And he's like, oh, I don't know. She's like, but you wrote it. He's like, life's a little fuzzy, foggy, froggy.
He's fucked up.
And she's like, are you all right? He's like, you're all right. And he's like, you look disappointed. And she's like, well, I am. I think you're like the greatest thing since Shakespeare, but I'm just like kind of like disappointed. He's like, in me? And she's like, well, yeah, because you're my idol. And
I can't even have a conversation with you. And he's like, why? And she's like, because you're a drunk.
Which is such a harsh thing.
It's harsh, but it hits him like a ton of bricks. Yeah, you can tell he's like, damn.
And I think it's also kind of like, he's heard it from other people, but I think this moment of like,
but she's a young fan. And
where
she
it's like,
can even
no,
see
I'm
it.
not jealous of you. I'm a fan, and like I just see you now as like a drunk.
So anyway, so it transitions after that, and we're at school, and Carla is sitting there in class,
And they're like, oh, let's go. Like Sam's like, oh, y'all are gonna like, I can't wait
to see the look on Carla's face.
Because we learned that Sam was like a victim of Carla's bullying, and we also learned another girl was bullied so bad her family moved to Ohio.
yeah, Carla's a bitch.
She's evil.
And they come in, they're like, hey, Carla, did you have fun at the party? And she's like, well, isn't it The Great Pretender? Ooh.
Come here to hear all about the party, and they're like, bitch, we were there, you saw us. She's like, no, you didn't, liar. Do you just lie or liar?
Mary.
Yeah, she dead names her. And then she's like, no, like, we met, like, we were hanging out with Stu all night. Like,
Yeah, he's a big fan of my dad's dog.
Like, your dad.
What dad?
Your dad died.
Your dad died.
Remember?
Ew.
And then one of the friends is like, yeah, you told us your dad died before you moved here.
So it's like, fuck. So
her lies are catching up with her.
It makes Lola look unreliable.
Her lies are catching up with her.
Yeah, so no one believes that Lola and Ella went to the party.
And she kind of, and like, Ella's like, because Lola's like, tell him, Ella, tell her. And she's like, bitch, I don't have anything to prove to them.
Yeah,
Ella does not care.
Ella at this point is...
She's like, listen, we did
matured
it.
so
and
much.
She's like, and Lola's like, you know what, you're right. Like, I don't need to prove anything to you. Like, let's go. And Lola, she's tearing up, and then they're mean. They're like, oh, she's crying. Oh, the baby.
I know, that was so fucked up.
It was like, it was mean. Megan Fox is such a good mean girl.
Megan Fox is just a great actress.
She's mean.
Well, underrated
not
actress.
in Holiday in the Sun, but
that was her first
job.
movie.
That was her first booking. So we'll
come on. I mean,
but we'll watch it.
We talked about in the Jennifer's Body episode how I think Megan Fox.
Oh, she's amazing in that movie.
Great actress. And it's
And
sad
then-
that everyone just sees her as a bimbo.
At rehearsal, Lola decides to come clean. She's like, let me be truthful.
She does I have a confession to make.
Which was also used in the
In the
promos.
trailer, yeah.
I have a confession to make. She's like, I took Eliza's dress. It's back. It's completely fine. It looks exactly the same, but somehow different. Which is true.
Which is so true. Because, like, the dress started out with, like, flowy sleeves, and now they've been cut off. And it's like a little mini dress. Yeah.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Lola's like, I wore it to the concert. Like, I wore it to Stu. Like, he gave it back. He sent it in a limousine. And, Carla starts letting her have it. Like, has a comeback for everything. Like, a limousine. Can you imagine? She's like, do you just keep lying, Mary? She dead names her.
You're a liar. Yeah.
And then Miss Baggoli shuts it down. She's like, nope, we have a show, and I'm not going to let you ruin this.
No.
Done.
The way she says it, too. She's like,
I am not going to let you ruin this.
It's so fucking funny. It's so funny.
And she's like, I have had enough. And then Megan gets up in Lola's face and is like, have you had enough? Have you finally had enough?
Yeah, and this is where we hear, sorry, I can't be
She throws a huge pity party for herself, but it's like, I mean, girl, you got caught up in your own lies. So
yeah, this is what happens when you lie. It all snowballs
and she tries to avoid going to the show, and Ella shows up and is not fucking having it. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" She's like, "I'm sick." She's like, "No, you are not." And she's like, "You don't realize this is the one thing that you cannot let her have, and you're gonna let her just take it from you. Eliza is yours." And she's like, first of all, Sam is showing up, and he doesn't show up to anything, but he's showing up because of you. And look at me. What am I supposed to do without you? Like, she's like,
my life was horrible before you came to Delwood, but you showed me that I can be myself and I can be confident, and like it's actually a sweet moment.
Yeah,
like, very
it's kind of a lesbian moment. And she like tries to like give her, and Ella's like, no. She like touches her, and Ella's like, don't touch me. Like, you're a sham. Like, look at you. Screw you. You're gonna do this after all this. You're gonna just do this. And then we hear her mom like, okay, I just gave the word to your dad. Should I call Miss Baggoli? And she's like, I've had a miraculous recovery, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm going to the show.
Yeah, Ella talked some sense into her.
And now we see...
She puts on a really cute, like, long kimono robe, I thought.
And then we see, back at school, Carla is in the finale dress and getting it tailored. And Miss Baggoli's like, oh, are you sure you could do this? Of course, Miss Baggoli. I was born to play Eliza. And she's like, okay, well, get into your opening costume.
And she turns to her friend and she goes, it even amazes me that I get everything I want.
And then Lola shows up in the opening number costume, the checkout girl costume.
Get out of my dress.
And she's like, get out of my dress. And she's like, no. And get out of my opening costume. She's like, no, I'm Eliza. And she starts doing her makeup. And Carla walks over and just shoves all the makeup off the counter, which I'm like, bitch, that's your stuff.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was like, that's not even her shit.
I was like, she just got there.
And Lindsay goes, give me my dress. And she takes the hairspray. And Miss Baggoli comes out.
And says, get out of that dress. And
and she turns around.
Lola accidentally
sprays her right in the eyes. Like she's getting maced. And she's like, oh my God. Oh, she's like, sorry, Miss Baggoli. It's so funny. She's like, no, I'm so excited to see you, Lola. And she's like wiping her glasses off. It's so funny.
Yep. And then we get the moment where Lola's mom finally stops dead naming her and calls her Lola. She's like, you called me Lola. You've always been a Lola.
Yeah, that was cute. And kind of hypes her up before the show, tells her she's going to be amazing. And then we get Eliza Rocks.
And Miss Baggoli, all these kids are using, instead of an orchestra, it's MacBooks.
I love
children.
I remember
Your bar.
being like mind blown by this when I was a kid. Yeah, she says, press your bars. And it's like a full rock concert sound.
It's so funny.
Can we talk about the budget that
It's
the
insane.
school had for
It's
Eliza
fucking
Rocks?
insane. It's fucking insane.
The Broadway level production, like the props and the costumes and the set pieces, it's like so ridiculous for a high school level production, but I love it. Eliza Rocks is iconic. I want to do it. Like
so
I want to be
sing,
in this show.
This girl, she works in downtown New York City.
Yeah, they do Just Enough for the City as like the opener.
Just enough
It's like a version
for the
of My Fair Lady.
city.
It's a version of My Fair Lady where Eliza is a checkout girl, and she has like a really thick New York accent instead of a Cockney accent.
New York. No, with an R. New Road.
And they do Changes by David Bowie.
Turn and face the strain.
Just gonna have to be a different girl.
Time may change me, but I can't change time.
And we get like a scene where people have like books on their heads.
Yeah, they
and
come like out of the
stuff.
bookshelves. They're like part of the set.
And that's her like getting her education. And
We get the ending where she's like, I'm going to be a teacher because the teacher is the most fulfilling thing somebody could. We see Miss Baggoli like reciting the line.
because she wrote it. This is like, we find out this is the story of Miss Baggoli, basically, which I fucking love. I live for.
And then we get the iconic Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen song.
Yes, that girl was a wild child teenage
drama queen.
drama queen.
Not your average wannabe. She believes in somebody. That girl is me.
Life is a work of art. You've gotta paint it colorful.
You can make it anything you want.
Don't have to stick
follow
to
any rules.
You don't need a high IQ to succeed
at
at
what
what
you
you
do.
do. And like Miss Bagoli is like doing all the moves.
She's
like
so into it.
She's so
She
into
choreographed
it.
this too.
I love the dance moves. Like it's a lot of. I wish this was a visual podcast, but it's a lot of like this and like a lot of like.
It's Britney inspired. And the look, Lindsay has commented when she did this movie, she told them, she's like, make me Britney Spears. She's like, because this was like the height of
cunt
Britney
look,
Spears.
yeah.
And it's such a cute look.
It's like a orange and pink, right?
Yeah,
like color scheme kind of vibe.
and bell bottom.
The dancers are wearing weird Sonic the Hedgehog mohawks, though.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about.
Yeah,
but,
it was really weird.
it's kind of, yeah. I
And
love
then-
the Madonna, like, Vogue, like, life is a work of art, like, spoken word.
Yeah,
art.
and she gets standing ovation, as she should. Of
course,
And
yeah.
then we go to the after party at Carla Santini's house.
Uh-oh.
And it's a mansion.
Uh-oh. And she's eating a big hot dog.
I also did mention Megan Fox's wig during the play is diabolical.
Yeah, her, like, old granny wig. Yeah, that's right, because it's funny because we see
And she's so mad during the
Carla she's got the shittiest little pissed off face on. She can't even keep character because she's so mad.
What will you do now?
Yeah, and she gets to play the old lady, which is funny.
At this after party, we get a doorbell ring, and it's Stu Wolf.
Stu Wolf? I can't believe this. Did you come here? Did my father tell you to come
And
here?
she's like, can I come in? And she's like, yeah, of course. And he's like, can I, is Lola step here? She's like, oh, let me, you stay here. I'll go get it. So I can't come in?
You can come in. Yeah.
And so she's like, hey, everyone, look who came to see me.
Yeah, she tries to spin it that way. But obviously he's here to see Lola.
And he wants to return her bottle cap necklace. Mm-hmm. And he's cleaned up. And Lola's like, you look really good. Like, what happened? She's like, well, somebody called me a drunk and it didn't feel so good. It's like, well, maybe you need to hear that.
Exactly,
Because I'm
yeah.
like, it's been like 3 days.
Yeah, and he got a haircut. He looks cute.
And Carla falls into the fountain. And everyone
she can't
says,
handle all the
"Lola."
attention that Lo's getting. And yeah, everyone's laughing at her.
But Lola goes over.
She takes the high road, and she offers her hand to help Carla out of the fountain. And it's a sweet moment. Yeah. She forgives Carla. And Carla kind of gives her a smile.
Yeah,
and I guess
like,
maybe,
we're good.
They can be
and then Lola and Stu dance. And then it fades into talking about Sam for some reason. She's like, I really like Sam, and I think I can make time for a boyfriend, even when I'm becoming a famous actress. So...
And, like, that's all it is.
So he'll be my boyfriend, too.
Again, Sam had one line.
We get this really funny clip, because then it's, like, actually it's Sam and Lola dancing at the party, and then Miss Baggoli runs across.
She runs out of frame, and then she spins into frame dancing with Stu Wolf, and she's living.
Good. It's so good.
So good.
But it's such a... That's the end. That's the end of Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. What I love about this movie is you learn that even if you lie, if you manifest, you'll get what you want.
That's not the takeaway, Stevie.
That is the takeaway from this movie. So everyone, make sure you lie. Keep lying. Just keep up with your lies.
I love it. Yeah, it's a cute movie. It's fun.
I love this movie. It's one of my favorites. You know that.
It was like one of my absolute favorites when I was a kid.
So, well, do you have anything to add to this wonderful piece of cinema?
This prestigious work of art?
One of the greatest films of all time. One of the top 5 greatest films of all time.
No, it's cute. Good soundtrack.
Yeah.
So next week you have picked the movie as well.
Yes.
Picked another kids movie. What'd you pick, Stevie? Tell the podcast what you picked.
I picked... We watched this movie together, and we were like, oh, this is going to suck, and then it sucks, we're going to turn it off. We did not turn it off because it did not suck.
No, it's great. Yeah,
we are watching the live-action Dora the Explorer movie.
Yeah,
and listen, y'all,
Dora
if you have not seen it, watch it, because it is... I was amazed.
It blew all expectations I have for it out of the water.
It was the same day we watched Jennifer's Body for the first time.
Yeah.
And Sonic the Hedgehog. And Velma and Daphne.
Velma
it was,
and Daphne.
And this was the top 2. This and Jennifer's Body were the 2 best movies we watched that day.
Oh, 100%.
In this movie, I swear to God.
Is it called Dora and the Lost City?
I think so. Y'all, Eva Longoria's in it. And as soon as I saw she was in it, I was like, bitch, this is a real movie. Yeah.
It's actually like a really good...
live action, funny take.
It reminds me of the tone that the Scooby-Doo movies did.
Yes, it's so self-aware.
Self-aware. For kids, but there's like adult humor in it. So yeah, if you haven't seen the Dora live action movie,
go watch it. So you're ready for next week. I actually
couldn't recommend it more. We had a fun time watching it.
So I'm excited to revisit it. I don't think I've seen it since, but I know I loved it. So
yeah, I remember being like, wow, this is a treat. This is quite a treat. So we will be covering that next week. So look forward to that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us on our first episode of
No Scream November.
Let us know if you are liking No Scream November so far. Because if it's successful, I want to start doing it every year.
Oh, no, we're doing it every year, whether y'all like it or not. I'm sorry. This is so much fun to me.
Hell yeah. Okay, so, yeah. Please remember to follow Let's Scream Pod on all the social medias. Leave us a like, leave us a glowing review, because that really helps us out with the algorithm. Please make sure you're sending us horror movie requests for when we go back to our normal schedule.
We only have 2 things planned in December, so that's like 2 weeks left.
So we are looking for recommendations. You can follow me at Parker_Will_C on Instagram.
And you can follow me at Stevie Nash95 on Instagram.
And until next time, this has been
Let's Scream. Bye.